Turn on the news today and you will hear a specific story. The economy is thriving, the stock market is setting records, growth is up. But then you check your own phone and your bank balance is sitting at $14.32. There is a massive gap between the economic reports and the life you are actually living. For millions of people, the system feels completely disconnected. Society tells you that if you are struggling while the economy is supposed to be doing well, it must be your fault. You must be lazy, or you just don't know how to handle money. But you aren't crazy, and you aren't alone. You're just fighting forces that don't show up in the nightly news report. Your financial struggle isn't a personal failure. It is the result of 3 hidden structural traps that the government's math is designed to ignore. This is the jobless boom. Let's start with the first trap, the job market. The official unemployment rate looks perfectly normal. But if you've tried to get a new role lately, you know the reality. You send out hundreds of applications, and you hear absolutely nothing back. Economists call this a low-hire, low-fire equilibrium. It is a fancy way of saying the corporate job market is completely paralyzed. To see how we got here, picture the corporate job market as a giant kitchen sponge. A few years ago, companies were desperate for help. They soaked up every available worker they could find just to keep their businesses running. Finding and training all those people was difficult and expensive. So today, even though business is slowing down, companies refuse to let anyone go. They are terrified they won't be able to find new people when the economy speeds up again. They are hoarding their current workers. Because nobody is leaving, the sponge stays completely full. If you already have a job, you are safely tucked inside. But if you are a new graduate trying to get in, there is simply no room. You bounce right off the surface. Artificial intelligence is making this even harder. We are currently in what researchers call the J-curve. Think of it like a dip before a climb. Companies are spending a fortune on AI hardware and software today, but they don't expect it to actually boost their work for years. They are in the bottom of that J right now. Businesses don't need fully functioning robots to damage the job market today. The mere promise that AI will make things more efficient later gives executives the perfect excuse to freeze all new hiring right now. With the job market locked, it is incredibly difficult to increase your income by moving to a new role. But what about the paycheck you already have? Why is it disappearing so much faster than it used to? A tariff is just a tax the government puts on goods imported from other countries. Right now, the average tax on things we buy from overseas has spiked to nearly 12. For years, American businesses acted like a dam. They absorbed those extra costs by taking lower profits, shielding you from the price shock. But in 2026, the corporate dam is breaking. Businesses cannot absorb a 12% hit to their margins anymore. They are opening the floodgates and passing those taxes directly to you. Your groceries, your electronics, and your cars all cost more because the dam has shattered. This document shows the Affordable Care Act, and at the end of 2025, the government allowed subsidies that help pay for this insurance to expire. For millions of middle-class families, healthcare costs mathematically doubled overnight. Someone who is paying $5,000 for a silver plan is suddenly facing a bill for over $14,000 for the exact same insurance. When your insurance premiums double and your daily goods are hit with a hidden 12% tax, fractional growth in the national GDP doesn't matter. To your bank account, this is a deep recession. This brings us to the most dangerous word in economics, stagflation. That is what happens when the job market stops, but prices keep climbing anyway. Imagine running on a treadmill. Your wages are your running speed, and inflation is the speed of the belt. Normally, if you work harder, you move forward. But with stagflation, the belt keeps speeding up and the incline keeps rising. No matter how hard you run, you are slowly being dragged backward. This is the Federal Reserve Building, home to the people controlling that treadmill speed. They do this by moving a dial called interest rates. Think of interest rates like a wall thermostat. If the economy runs too hot and prices go up, they turn the dial up to cool things down. If the job market gets too cold, they turn the dial down to heat things up. They are looking for the neutral rate, the perfect room temperature. But right now, the dial is physically jammed. The Fed is trapped. If they lower rates to unfreeze the job market, inflation will explode because of those tariffs. If they raise rates to fight the inflation, companies will stop hoarding workers and start firing them. So they do nothing, leaving your mortgages and credit cards incredibly expensive. So why is the news insisting things are great while you feel broke? Because macroeconomics measures the total volume of the ocean. It doesn't measure whether your specific boat is sinking. The stock market is riding a wave of AI promises, and the GDP is being propped up by government spending. Those numbers are entirely detached from the hidden traps you are facing on the ground. You aren't doing anything wrong. You are just trying to navigate a system that has been locked from the inside. Realizing that the headlines aren't about your life is the first step to understanding the chaos. I want to hear what is actually happening in your city. Leave a comment below about the job market or the prices you're seeing at the store. It helps prove that we aren't crazy, and it helps the community see the real story. Subscribe to keep learning how the machine works. I'll see you in the next one.